In a world of fleeting fame and rapidly shifting cultural icons, few figures have managed to maintain both public admiration and personal integrity across decades. Doris Day is one such figure. Often remembered for her radiant smile, melodic voice, and wholesome on-screen persona, Doris was far more than a beloved entertainer. Her legacy transcends Hollywood glamour, encompassing groundbreaking work in animal rights advocacy, a quiet but enduring resilience, and an authenticity that remains rare even by today's standards. Remembering Doris Day is not merely an exercise in nostalgia. It's a recognition of a woman whose life and legacy continue to inspire compassion, excellence, and courage. Born Doris Marion von Kappelhoff in 1922 in Cincinnati, Ohio, she rose to fame in the 1940s as a big band singer before transitioning into a successful film career in the 1950s and 60s. Her performances in films like Calamity Jane, Pillow Talk, and The Man Who Knew Too Much showcased her exceptional range, not just vocally, but dramatically and comedically. At the height of her career, she was one of America's most bankable stars, drawing millions to theaters with her charm, relatability, and emotional nuance. Unlike many actresses of her era, Doris Day created a persona that felt approachable and genuine, making her one of the most beloved performers of the 20th century. But Doris's legacy is not defined solely by box office numbers or hit records. What sets her apart is how she used her fame as a platform for good, particularly in the realm of animal welfare. A lifelong animal lover, she became one of the earliest high-profile advocates for animal rights. In 1978, she founded the Doris Day Animal Foundation, followed by the Doris Day Animal League, which focused on legislative change. Long before Adopt Don't Shop was a mainstream concept, Doris was rescuing animals, pushing for spay and neuter programs, and campaigning for humane treatment. Her efforts not only saved countless lives but helped lay the groundwork for the modern animal rights movement. Despite the shiny cover, behind the scenes, Doris Day's life was marked by hardship and resilience. She survived a devastating car accident as a teenager that ended her dreams of being a dancer. She endured 4 troubled marriages and was famously swindled out of her fortune by a business partner, only discovering the betrayal after her husband's death. Rather than retreating from the world, she rebuilt her life with quiet determination. Her comeback via the television show The Doris Day Show was a testament to her professionalism and fortitude. Even after retreating from public life in her later years, the legend remained active in her advocacy work and retained her dignity and humor. She refused to become a spectacle of celebrity culture and instead focused on creating meaningful change. Her humility, often reflected in her decision to avoid major public appearances and award shows, only deepened the public's respect for her. She walked away from Hollywood when most stars were still clawing to stay in it, and that kind of refusal to play the fame game definitely ruffled feathers in a culture obsessed with celebrity. What made it even more compelling was that she didn't do it with drama. Just a firm no thanks. It challenged the narrative that fame was the ultimate goal, especially for a woman in that era. But was this legendary woman truly adored by everyone? Doris Day became the embodiment of the ideal post-war American woman. Cheerful, chaste, charming. But that kind of perfection doesn't leave much room for complexity, especially in a time when America itself was grappling with deeper social tensions beneath its glossy surface. Some people distrusted that image because it felt manufactured. Too clean, too safe, too removed from the grit of real life. And as culture shifted in the 60s and 70s, that pristine persona started to feel out of step, even alienating. She wasn't just a person, she was a symbol of a kind of America that some wanted to move past. Yet what's fascinating is that Doris Day the woman was far more nuanced than the roles she played. That dissonance between the icon and the individual made her quietly radical in her own way. But for those of us who have always loved Doris, we remember her as more than a golden age starlet. We honor an artist whose performances brought joy and laughter, a woman whose compassion led to lasting change, and a person of quiet strength who never let hardship define her. She reminds us that legacy is not just what we accomplish in our careers, but how we live with empathy, courage, and purpose. In an age when fame is often confused with worth, Doris Day stands as a timeless example of how to use a public voice for meaningful good. That is why she's worth remembering. Not only for what she gave us on screen, but for the lasting imprint of her heart and values outside the studio lots.